Starting to the bottom right of a killer now, a Terran player for the Prime team, winning map number 2 and bringing us into this third game.
MarineKing Prime.
Very strong Terran player who's up against player to the top left. In blue, he is the Mountain. And he is known as
Ajubu-san.
MarineKing is very handsome, but we also have to introduce San.
You know, that's a very small mountain.
Yeah. Does not stack up to the 20,000 feet required.
You know what I was wondering in the last game? Why the early Templar Archive for like 2 Archons? Nothing else, no Storm, no nothing? Templar Archive and then right away the Dark Shrine, a huge investment.
I agree.
It's
I was wondering if, you know, maybe what he was thinking was he was going to try to go for Storm, and he saw how aggressive MarineKing was being, and he was like, well, I can't afford to try to go Storm right now, but if I make DTs, maybe I can keep him in his base, but the Dark Shrine is not something you can kind of make on a whim like that after you've made a Templar Archive and be like, well, let's just do this instead. You kind of have to do one or the other and commit to it first.
You know, as a Protoss player in general, you just have this rule that if when you enter the mid and late game, you always want to have area of effect damage, and he didn't have Colossi, nor did he have Storm. Do you think he might have just forgotten to get Storm?
It's very possible. He didn't have a ton of Templar, though. I think he just spent so much gas on those DTs, he couldn't afford it, and then his DTs didn't really work out for him like he wanted them to.
Well, right now we are in the third game, and this is going to be... I love these epic conclusions. We are so blessed that we have all these series today, or most of them are going into a third game, especially the very close ones. We have now MarineKing against San with a 1-1. Once again, the Reaper opening.
You know, I said this earlier, but for maybe some people who didn't catch the morning session, for me it's so exciting to be able to cast Code again because it's been a long time, and also we get to see stories develop in a best of 3, whereas in a best of 1 that you see in the Team League, you can watch one player develop his story while he defeats multiple other players, but when you see 2 friends playing against each other in a best of 3 where it all comes down to the final game, everything is on the line here right now, who lives and who dies basically in this league, it's very intense and it's very exciting. I love it.
We talked about one thing in the earlier session. I want to highlight this once again. If you want to enjoy the games with fellow StarCraft fans, jump on ISC, make sure that you enter QuakeNet. You can just Google for Web ISC. It's a simple Java client. You can open it with a simple click. Join #GSL and just talk to fellow StarCraft fans. Same is also true on TeamLiquid.net, where they have a thread for this particular event now in the tournament forum. And a lot of cool pictures and jokes have been posted earlier, so the community in there is really doing a lot. We saw a couple of He-Man pictures with the 2 players just featuring them. I had quite the laugh, and I just want to give a quick shout out, especially to Nunes from Norway, and of course Shellshock, who is always doing an amazing job with the updates and keeping people at work informed what's going on.
Yeah. Great work by them. This Zealot is like the most useful Zealot the world has ever seen. He killed multiple SCVs. He kept MarineKing in his base. MarineKing had to micro his heart out to kill the Zealot. Finally, it is down, and the Stalker is not going to be able to get up against the bunker, especially not with the Reaper in there. But he sees everything that MarineKing is doing. He's very aware.
Yeah, MarineKing with a double command center going into the third right away. And we have, on the other hand, for San, the opening with the robotics that will enable him to get the Observer out quite fast.
But his robotics is a little bit late, and this means he's not going to know about MarineKing's third command center for a long time. This is really smart by MarineKing. Did he... Let me check exactly what San saw with that Zealot. Yeah, he did not see the second command center. It wasn't even started at that point. So MarineKing now saying, you saw everything I'm doing. I'm going to make a third command center here is so smart because this is something that San won't be able to scout very easily.
Well, starting to the top left, we have a chrono-boosted Immortal coming out.
Yeah, very quickly.
And here comes the base for MarineKing, the second one that is, trying to catch up here in the economy. But this is going to be interesting. San, you know the first game that he played today, that blew me away a little bit. The timings that he used and this aggressive build that MarineKing didn't really encounter up to this point showed really that he is one where you can't rely on him being passive or playing a certain style. So you have to be prepared for anything. And this is going to be difficult for MarineKing. And you can see that to the right side, we have a forward pylon. MarineKing has to be careful.
You think he might hide a robotic support bay over there? No, he walks away with the probe. It's kind of an interesting place for a pylon. It's really good for spotting drops, but I don't think it's going to come into play with this push. He may make another pylon with that same probe that's a little bit closer. he skipped Observers. This is just pure Immortals coming out of this robotics right now.
You know what I like? The early engineering bay for MarineKing. Again, he's going into the fast upgrades, and I really love this style. This playstyle is so awesome to watch. The Reaper is, of course, great. Saw the Immortals, saw everything that was going on, so he knows something's coming, and San is going for aggression.
Yep, he's going across with the Mothership Core, and here's the real pylon that's about to go down. Second bunker goes down from MarineKing, and that Reaper is going to start picking off probes if he's not careful. Does get one. MarineKing goes out to meet him.
He has to be careful. If those force fields go down and trap the Marines, then MarineKing is in even more trouble than he already is.
SCV is getting ready to repair. He has that burst damage of the Immortals, only 2 of them. He needs a few Stalkers, I feel, to really push this down. 2 more warping in. Time Warp goes down.
Time Warp is there. The force fields are good. No repair in the bunker. MarineKing evacuates the Marines.
Yep, really nicely done. Second bunker being targeted. There's nobody inside, though, because the force fields are really good. MarineKing is in trouble, but does he have the numbers? It looks like he barely might.
MarineKing might be able to hold this off. He takes down one sentry after another. The third goes down. The fourth is being attacked, and San is on the retreat.
The Time Warp was so critical, though. Without it, he would have been crushed here. MarineKing pushes him back yet again. The Immortals are stuck.
He gets the Immortal, he slows it down and takes it out, and now we have so many Marauders still up against those Stalkers. Another one goes down. San, GG's
right out of the game. They're both on even supply, but San knows MarineKing has the better tech, and MarineKing, a bittersweet victory here, taking out his friend, will advance and at the very least secures himself a spot in the up and downs.
Wow, he was relieved winning this game. You could really see it on his face when we had this shot of him in the booth. That was tense. That was really tense. MarineKing takes it with a 2-1. San in game 3 with an aggressive build, but MarineKing holds.
Great hold by MarineKing there, and it is the Prime player who is advancing to the round of 24. What a sick best of 3 that we just saw, though. Very technical, a lot of mind games going into it. You could tell these guys are friends. That was pretty cool.
A very fast conclusion that we had here. Very short game, 1 attack by San, trying to mind game his opponent, and MarineKing he holds. That was close, though. That was really close. And MarineKing, he was really fearing for his GSL life after losing game number 1. As it is, he takes the series with a 2-1, advances now to the second round, and San, who just won a qualifier to get into the first round of the GSL Code A, is now back in Code B. But we are not done for the day just yet. We have 2 more best of 3s coming up for you guys. The next match is going to be Avenge versus Hydra, and then later on we have Jangbi, who is up against Bial from LGIM. Before we head into those games, we of course have another 5-minute break. See you guys in a few minutes, and then we'll be back with the WCS Challenger League Korea.